this down to 3 points of power that I'm going to share with you. But before we get into those points of power, I want you to start thinking about an iceberg. And I want you to build your wealth using what I like to call the iceberg principle. This came to me one night. I was just kind of laying around thinking about money because that's what I do, right? And this came to me because I was watching the Discovery Channel. I watch weird stuff like Discovery Channel, History Channel. That's what I do. So they were talking about icebergs, and I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good concept. I think I can use that in one of my presentations. And here's what I come up with. Everybody see my iceberg? You see my iceberg? Say yes. All right. You see the tip of the iceberg? You've heard the term, it's just the tip of the iceberg. As I was listening to the Discovery Channel, they said that only about 1/7 of an iceberg is actually seen above the surface of the water. The other 6/7 of the iceberg is below the surface of the water. So I got to thinking, I was thinking to myself, Lonnie, how can you use that? And here's what I came up with. When it comes to building wealth, you want to build your wealth below the surface of the water. Below the surface. Here's what I mean by below the surface of the water. Paying off debts, having a savings account. That's below the surface of the water. You see, the top of the surface, that's what people see. But I've come to realize that we're all concerned with what people see. So we tend to build things on top of the water, and we have nothing underneath. Well, if you only build things on top of the water, you don't have an iceberg. You have an ice cube. Well, you know what happens to ice cube when it sits in the water too long? What happens? It melts. So you want to start building your wealth below the surface of the water, not what people see. I've given up on trying to impress people. I used to like, all these fancy cars, all that stuff. I don't really care what I drive because it's just a car. You can pull up, because I drive like a 97 Camry. Don't get me wrong, I will get a new car. My goal is to have a new car at the end of the summer, but I'm going to do it on my terms. I'm going to buy it on that one payment plan, not the multiple payment plans. When I write in there, I'm going to write one check for the car that I want. I know, that's a novel concept, huh? Imagine that. At the end of the summer, I'm going to write one check for a new car, okay? So that's all below the surface. You know how it is, though, ladies, right? You see that guy at the club or wherever you go. Like you don't go to the club. So anyway, wherever you are, you see this guy, and you look at him, he looks good, but you go outside, he's driving a 91 Honda with mismatched rims. You're like, girl, this dude, he don't have nothing. Turns out the dude got like a $200,000 house. He got $500,000 in his 401k. He got, a few $1,000s in his savings account. That's all below the surface stuff. Or the alternative is that really, really cute guy, and you go outside and he's got this nice $60,000, $50,000 foreign luxury automobile, and he looks in real good, nice suit, nice clothes. The only problem is he lives at home with his mama, and he got bad credit. That's the difference between building wealth atop of the surface and below the surface. So you want to make sure you build wealth below the surface. It's all about the below the surface. By the time you see my wealth above the surface, I have this